Hey guys, welcome to our East Coast meeting. We're so happy to have all of you here today. And before we just get started, I want to let you know that it's a pleasure to see all of you, and it would be a real pleasure if we could see all of you. So if it is possible and you guys can come up and turn on that camera, then we would be extremely happy. Let me start sharing the slides with you. Let me just get this up and going. Getting you back on the road of life. Alpha is there by your side. I am having you need us most. Back up to the start. There we go. Welcome. And let's get started with this. First thing is etiquette. Uh, as I requested, please turn on your videos. Second is, since this is a formal recorded meeting, there is a dress code. So please be mindful of how you appear on the screen. Please do not unmute yourself. To ask any question or make a comment. We will give you time for that as we complete the presentation. And also, if you have any thoughts and any questions that you want to share, we would love to hear from you, but please add it onto the chat so we can look into it and then make sure that your questions are answered and your points are noted. So please do participate in the chat. Before we get started, let's cover the basic trainings that we usually do. This is our licensed agent training that happens. It's a virtual training, which means it's online, happens every Friday, 12 noon afternoon, and you would need to register for this. So there is a QR code and there is a registration link. If you go in there, you can get registered, and this will walk you through a brief introduction of the products available with Transamerica, and also it walks you through the scenario of you starting up to the point of getting your first check. Now, isn't that exciting? So if you're new to us and if you've just got licensed and you're all gung-ho, ready to go, this is one thing you must do. We have our Thrive in 25 sales promotion still going on, and this is on till March. So this is special for Transamerica. We want to make sure that everybody's aware of this. And it's a great motivation for us to go and put in more effort and get in those IULs in the first 3 months of the year. So please keep that in mind. We have our GX qualifiers, and here's our list. We're waiting to see who comes up next. So congratulations to all those who have qualified. They are obviously unstoppable. Pre-GX qualifiers, kudos to you. We welcome all of you into the team and hoping to see you move forward in the GX line, and hoping to see you guys all up there getting your awards this year. There we go, Elite Circle. Now, Elite Circle is coming up, and this is a very special program that we do. Elite Circle is like a top business school. It is very special and very valued among us, all of us. And I had the unique opportunity of going in and attending this Elite Circle last time, and every class was really amazing. The insights and the kind of guidance that you get really helps you, not just GX, but also grow with your business, grow as a person. So rather than me talking to you about it, how about we invite somebody who really knows and who's applied Elite Circle? Let's have Li-Wei, our MVP from last Elite Circle, come in and tell you more about this. Li-Wei?
Yeah, thank you, Lavinia. So hi everyone, my name is Li-Wei, and I'm based in Seattle. So I'm a product of Elite Circle. I joined WFG, and then in a month, and I was already in Elite Circle. I flew there from Seattle, and then since the first class, it really opened my eyes, and then it got me really committed into the business, right? So I got to really shorten my learning curve, and then I attended 3 times, and then by the third one, I was promoted to MD, and then my business also grew quite a lot. And then so and then I also was able to bring 10 teammates along with me to Elite Circle, and that really helped me to grow my business. So if you're just starting out and then you're not sure how WFG work, how the business work, this is a great chance for you to learn how to build yourself and also understand the business. And then if you've been there for a while, highly recommend you to encourage all of your teammates to attend Elite Circle, because this is a great way to leverage other experienced trainers to help you build your business.
Awesome. Hearing it from some of those our superstars is a great way to understand the value of Elite Circle. Remember that if you register by Friday, you have this amazing opportunity. I haven't seen it before. You get 4 extra points just for early registration. All those who've attended Elite Circle know every point counts. When it comes time to tallying it up, we always wish we had those extra points. So if you are ready, and this is the first thing we should be doing, we have one more person we want to hear from, and that is Ashok. And Ashok has been GXing. He's another of our Elite Circle babies, and we would love to hear from him. Ashok?
Thank you, Lavanya. Yeah, so I've been in the business a little over a year, and I think I met Li-Wei actually in my first Elite Circle, and Nima Attar presented, and I think both of us were kind of influenced by his presentation that day. Yeah, if Elite Circle was I joined, and a week later there was Elite Circle, and like Li-Wei mentioned, my learning curve was shortened by at least 6 months, I would say. And it's a small set of people, right? And then you get to actually listen to the peers who have done this business for 40 years, Penny 30 years, right? And then Penny always brings guests who are also done really well in the business, and they get to share their knowledge and how they run the business, all of this great stuff that I applied to my business, and I was able to actually hit GXMD in 2 months. And I give 100% credit to Elite Circle training that helped me, take that next step. And I also bring teammates. And in fact, I have a new team member actually joined this meeting. So I totally forgot to mention to her this morning about Elite Circle, but thank you for reminding. I will talk to her and make sure she attends the Elite Circle. So yeah, if anybody is, thinking about it, I would say go for it, 100% sign up. And this is a great opportunity to learn from the best. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Ashok. And if you're hesitating, please don't. Elite Circle is open for registration right now, and if you do it by Friday, you get those extra points. But that's not the focus. The focus is in getting that value add, getting our business moving and growing. And just like all our MVPs have explained, it's a rare opportunity, and the price is nothing compared to the experience and what we learn. Make sure that when you do register, you note down the dates of the classes because we will have to attend. And orientation is February 15th, so don't miss. Wow, straight from Elite Circle, we're zooming into the convention coming up, and that's a big one, the WFG convention coming up in Las Vegas. And you know what? Tickets are coming up for sale, and they're coming up for sale tomorrow morning at 12 p.m. Your time, and if it's if it's our side of the Pacific, it's 9 a.m. So just get ready, get your equipment out, and be ready to grab those tickets because trust me, they fly by. And regret is all we have left behind. So if you have members that want to come, if you are sure you're not going to have anything else to do, this is the place you need to be because this is where we get to see everybody. And I got a chance to go in last year, and it's been amazing. It's awesome to hear them speak, to hear all their realizations, and to see all the winners, and to know how far we can go if we make the commitment and have the drive. But these tickets are not available. Last time they sold out in a matter of hours. So please don't wait, don't hesitate. Make sure you have your iPhones, your computers ready, and be there on the dot to grab those tickets. I just want to let you know the email that went out for this will go to registered agents, but anybody can make a registration as long as they have a link. So just make sure that even if there are new people here or others who've not yet licensed, they make sure they get the link so they can register and buy those extra tickets for those whom I know will want to come along. So here are our last 7 days results. Let's get that played and see who are our winners, our gainers, and we want to congratulate them because WFG is all about appreciation. Here we go. So, hold on. I'm going to put, it looks like I like it so much, I'm going to again and again. Let's get us moving to the next one. What's the next slide? Hey, okay. So congratulations to everybody who made it, scored, and if you didn't, don't worry. It's going to happen sometime along that road. It's a long road, and we're here for the long run, and we will see success just as long as we follow through and keep learning. So I hope to see your face there next time we put out that video. Congratulations to everybody who made it. We're going to get started with our training today, and this training is especially being done from our team back here at Redwood Shores office. This is Rekha, and she's part of our team there. We are located just south of San Francisco, and our team has had a really good, we've had a good year with respect to running events and having these meetings where we were able to use it to build and leverage it to build, a bigger team. And also, there's a lot of learning experiences we have from it. And to walk us through that and explain what we did is Rekha Iyer. Rekha is a good friend of mine. Her background is biotech. She's been in that for almost 15 years. And she joined WFG in August of 2023. She got her associate promotion in December. And we have big hopes for her. She's one of our superstars. And I personally really appreciate the way she puts her all into everything she does. She's focused and she's very personal. Please join me in welcoming Rekha Iyer.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Lavanya. It's great to see so many new and friendly faces here. This is my first time meeting many of you, but I'm excited to share what we have learned, and I hope you can leverage it to build explosive growth in your own organization. So Feifei had sent a message yesterday saying that we are in the marketing business. And so I want to talk today about how we can leverage events. And our team is, that's kind of our specialty. We try to bring people together, we organize events, and how can we leverage that to grow our organization in both recruits and clientele. So when I was thinking about this presentation and talking to Emily, she said, "Oh, you need to talk about the whole process of how we go about making these events and running them." And so, of course, for those who done Elite, you know what the star personality is. So my the structure part of it came out to play. And for those who are not, definitely go to Elite Circle and you're going to learn these great things about personalities. But this is what I came up with. Oh, let's build a flow chart. And so this is it's an event flow chart, pretty intuitive. It's segregated into there's three parts to it. What the things we do, activities we do before the event, the activities we do during the event, and what do we do after the event. And they're all extremely important. So what I'm going to do is run through each set very quickly and then focus on specific ones that we think give us that edge, because what are some things that are more meaningful and more give us a higher impact. So those steps are what I'm going to focus on. And then I'm going to take you through a series of pictures. So hopefully this is a pleasant experience. You can see how much we all had, how much fun we all had, and we had great outcomes as well. So to get started with this event flow chart, so the things we do before the event, we first, I'm going to run through it fast and then focus on specific ones. But first we zero in on what's this event for? Who are we targeting, and what the event is for? So we plan the flow and the audience. We design the marketing collateral that we want to send out, and then send the invitations out, and plan beforehand on taking care of guests, and send reminders one day before, because everyone's calendar is full and a lot of people forget. So it's really important to send the reminder. During the event, just before we decorate and set up the environment, set up the venue to create a welcoming environment, we have strong introductions. We edify the speakers so that people know that there is a lot of value being added. These are credible people. We have a tight presentation flow, a really strong closing with a call to action. And we distribute and collect back feedback forms. We want to not only understand or not only get a sense for how we did, but also to see what people are interested in so we can stay in touch. After the event, we debrief with the team. It's great to do it soon after because that's when everything's fresh. So we debrief with the team, read the surveys, use that information, set up appointments immediately because again, strike the iron when it's hot. Follow up with no-shows, update the prospect list, and then we do the EPR for teamwork because all of these events are definitely a team effort. So I'm going to go through these, the blocks that are in blue one by one. And after I finish this segment, I'll pause and take any questions. I don't see the chat box. I can't see the chat box while I'm presenting, so I'm going to pause for questions. So the first thing is to decide on or zero in on the goal and the theme of the event. So what is this event for? Is there an occasion? Are we leveraging like a festival or is it like Women's Day or, you know, things like that? What's the goal and what's the theme of the event? Who are we targeting? Is it more client focused or is it more recruit focused for people? So the messaging is slightly different, and or is it just a celebration where we get people together and then create an environment where people are welcomed and they're curious about what we do. It's important when we're before the event, when we have these registrations come in, right? We have our friends, all our teammates send out invitations and we get registrations. We make a plan beforehand on how to take care of these guests. So this removes a lot of the guesswork because once the event is happening, it has a flow of its own. And if we know, if we plan ahead that certain people are in charge, we sort of assign guests to people based on common backgrounds and such. So we know that those people will be taken care of. Now, on that day, if there are things come up, we minimize the uncertainty by planning ahead with what we can. So planning, going through that guest list with the team, and then making those assignments and a plan for how to take care of them, how to follow up. That's really important, we have found in our experience. So moving ahead, the environment is super, super important. It's even more important, I think, than what we say, because it goes a long way in determining or in deciding how people feel. So having that, if it's decorated appropriately, and we have friendly team members who you can't make this up. So our team culture is great. And so everybody can see that we have fun and we enjoy being with each other. That really, and I'll show you an example of that, but that definitely translates into the event itself. So having a strong introduction, why are we here, and edifying the speakers. So this is an event or an experience of great value. Why? Because we have these speakers who have this great story, this background, all of this experience, who are going to add so much value to you. So edifying the speakers is really important before they come up to speak. And then once we go through the presentation, it's also important to close really strong. You can wrap up, summarize, but then close and say, okay, so what? You've gotten all of this information. What are the things that we can do about it? We have opportunities to learn. You can come and set up a client meeting with us, or if you're interested in like joining and creating another sort of an earnings a flow for yourself and run this business yourself, you're welcome to do that as well. But a really strong call to action, very important. At the end of the events, we hand out feedback forms, and we collect them back. And the feedback form, like I said before, it's not just to say, okay, how did we do? We of course want to know that. We would love to get suggestions. We want to know how we did so we can do better. But our feedback forms also has information on what are you interested in, topics that they're interested in, and what are they concerned about, or what's on their mind, financially speaking. So we have contact information that we collect on the feedback forms, and people, it's been great to follow up with people based on, even if we are not able to make an appointment that day, or if they are not interested in making an appointment immediately in the short term, this helps us nurture this lead. So collecting those feedback forms is really important. And it's important that the team comes early and stays late, because the event itself is important, but there's a lot of work that needs to be done before and after. So this is something that, depending on the structure of the team, there may be a few people that are involved in the operations of the event, like organizing it and running it and everything. But the rest of the teammates who are attending should really be encouraged to come before and stay after, because there's a lot that they can contribute to make this a very cohesive experience. So after the event, the things that we do, debrief, really important. I know on the Monday meeting, there was the topic was debriefing after an appointment. So just like that, it's really important to debrief with the team. First, always ask what went well, and then talk about points that or areas that which we could improve next time, and note those down, because it's important to remember and implement those learnings. So we debrief with the team. As fresh as possible, always better. So if you do it immediately, it's always more effective. The team stays back. One of the reasons is interested people linger. So it's always good to have a teammate that can talk to them, and then set up next steps, appointments, sign-ups. Do people want to sign up immediately? That can happen. So it's important for the team to stay back and do all of these things. And then after the event, there are some people who may not show up, but it's a great idea to either take pictures or like send a note saying, hey, this was a great event, you really missed. And just to create that curiosity, so that we can follow up with them. Either use this as a chance to reconnect and move them forward, or have a chance to invite them again, saying based on this particular invitation, right? And finally, it's teamwork, it's hard work, and it can be enjoyable, of course, but there's a lot of people who are involved in putting this event together. So it's really important to encourage, praise, and recognize the people on the team, keep up the team culture, because that cohesiveness is what runs successful events. So with that, I'll show you all of this with a specific example. So we have the Indian festival of Diwali that's usually in October, November each year, and it's the festival of lights. And last year we ran an event that was based on Diwali. And I'll use that as an example to show you how we ran through this structure. So this was this beautiful invitation that was created by one of our teammates. If you can see, we connected the Festival of Lights to the lights of prosperity and illuminating financial futures. We had a brainstorm when we first started to think about who we wanted to who our audience was going to be for this. And for the community that we were looking at, we felt that a more client-focused seminar with meaning for prospective clients with a light touch on the business side or on the recruitment side would be the most appropriate. And this event, just to be clear, even though it was an Indian festival, it was open to everybody. It's a seminar. We are welcoming of anyone that wants to come and join, partake in our celebration. And we had some light refreshments, which were some Indian snacks. So people were welcome to join. We did need a quick note about in-person events and Zoom events. In-person events need a little bit of a leeway, like you need 2 to 3 weeks beforehand, you need to plan because you have a venue and there's a limit. It's not a Zoom room where a bunch of people can join. So we try to do pre-registration, and we know how many people we can host. But even if the number of people is a limit, the effectiveness is way higher because you can connect with people so much better in person. So I highly recommend in-person events over Zoom events. The other intangibles with in-person events is that you can talk to people before and set the environment and then stay back and talk to people later and really take the connection through. Whereas in Zoom, it's very come in at 4 and come out at 5, and that's it, right? That's the only time you get to make an impact. So if you're able to, I highly recommend in-person events. And like I mentioned before, set the expectation with the team that the team comes before the event, a little bit before helps out, and then is able to stay after the event. It's really helpful. So here are some example invitations. A little tip for you guys is that we can share, if you can write up a little script so that's succinct and then conveys what we want to say about the event, and then share it with the teammates. They can add their own touch to it, and it's easier to send out a lot of different invitations. So here are three messages, screenshots of messages. One was me inviting our realtor. It was an opportunity to reconnect with her. And then we have 2 more. One is in English and one is in Chinese. And as you can see, these events are not limited to the community. If you're doing it based on a festival, it's not limited to that particular ethnic community. You can definitely invite more people. In fact, we're planning one for Chinese New Year next week. And the first 2 RSVPs that Emily got are from an Indian couple. So there's really not a boundary here. It's an opportunity to get people together. So here are some pictures of that were taken at the Diwali event. So on the left is, and you can see Lavanya out there, and then a couple more of our teammates were putting up decorations. So we wanted the office to look really festive. We have a really beautiful office location. Would love for any of you to visit.
1, 2,
Um,
7, 6,
um,
7.
but on the left side, we're decorating the office. On the right, you can see our teammates, many of our non-Indian teammates, they also decided to dress up in Indian attire. So you can see all of the colorful dresses. It was a very nice gesture on their part. And in the middle is a seminar that I ran, and it was kind of like a financial 101 because, like I told you, that we were focusing this on prospective clients. So for this community, we thought financial education would be a great way to connect with them. So we did I did a presentation, which was like a financial 101. And then we had a panel discussion kind of a thing where we brought, where Emily interviewed 2 of our teammates. Both came initially to learn, and then both are clients, and they are now running the business. So they talked about their experience. And at the end, Emily closed. So remember the strong closing call for action. So we brought up our leader, Emily, and she closed, talked about the opportunities that are there and to join us with. And our beautiful MC, Lavanya, who you see today as well, she is the most warm and welcoming person. So she was emceeing that day as well. She closed with her experience and talked about a little bit about the events that are coming up
你在干嘛？
to build that curiosity. So this is one of my favorite pictures, and the reason is this picture was actually taken more than an hour after the event got over. So like I mentioned before, the environment is so important, and we were successful in creating that at this event. So much so that there were people just lingering around, talking and interested in learning more over an hour after this event. So more than 50% of the people in this picture are guests. So we consider this as a metric for a successful event. So you'll see that when you host one as well. So I'm going to stop here and pause and take any questions before I go on to the next section. Any questions? Anything? Let me check the chat.
I do have a question.
Yep, sure.
Other than asking them what they would like to hear more of, what are the feedback questions that you ask?
Oh, we asked if they were interested in learning about specific what their family situation was in terms of learning about college education planning, estate. So we listed specific topics like, are you interested in college education planning? Are you interested in estate preservation? Setting up a will and trust, about retirement planning. So we just listed each of them out and then had them selected. And then we asked if you would be interested in joining us for future events. Can we invite you? That sort of a question. And then they gave their name and email.
Okay, so that was basically all the questions that you had on your handout?
Yes, yeah, a little feedback form that we handed out towards the end of the event, and everybody just stayed and filled it out.
Okay, great, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Rekha, thank you so much for your sharing. I have one quick question.
Sure.
We try to figure out sometimes for the events Saturday afternoon or Friday afternoon, or so normally when is the events time you guys try is you have the most show up rate?
Yeah, that's a great question. Thanks, Feifei. So we deliberated this a lot. This particular event was a week after the actual festival. And we know in our community, there are a lot of Diwali parties that are going on. So we had this on a Saturday between 3 and 5. Because it would be after any sort of a lunch gathering and before any dinner gathering. So we wanted to capture that little sweet spot in between. So that's been a good time, Saturday afternoon. We've also done Saturday mornings, which also works out well.
Thank you so much.
Of course. Any other questions? Otherwise, I'll move on. Okay. So this was the event flow for a in-person event, but we can have gatherings in many different gatherings. And I wanted to share some that our team has done and very successfully. And before I go, we got about 3 recruits immediately on the spot, and we had 3 to 4 client appointments that came out of this event. So I would say this was a pretty successful event. Moving on. So I wanted to talk about how we can leverage social gatherings. So a few, these are all from what our team has put together in the past, and we've captured some photos, and I wanted to walk you through them. So we had a Halloween party, and as you can see in the middle, you have Emily with her colorful costume. So you can host that in the office, get people to come in costumes. Like I said, this would come under the category of celebration. So it may not have necessarily a direct a recruitment or a client component, but we always have somebody introduce who we are and what we do here, and then we encourage people to mingle, and then the guests are there to be part of the environment, and they get curious about, okay, who are these people, what are they doing here, and get to talk to the team members. So that's one way to bring people into the office. Similarly, we've had a Chinese New Year Lantern Festival. We're planning one for next week, it's not going to be for kids, but then it's going to be more a celebratory event with some financial knowledge and like a game theme that we're trying out. So we'll definitely let you know how that goes. It sounds pretty exciting, and Alice in our team is going to be leading it. So Christmas party, another time to leverage both friends and family, teammates. We had games and we had a raffle, and we tried the quiz theme here, and it was really successful. So we impart some financial knowledge, but also it's a lighter touch, and we get people together. Home gathering. So this is a good way to get teammates to bond, because we need to do that too. We work together, and one of our teammates, Jackie, has a beautiful house up in San Francisco, and we go there once a year about, and we make our it's our like bonding time and a time to look to the next year and make our goals for it. Do some brainstorming. It's a great way to build camaraderie. We have some good food and spend a few hours together. As you can see, our team is working on the right side, and some pictures of food. We had some posted brainstorming sessions. It's a good way to get a chunk of time to really strategize about what we want to do the next year and how we want to develop, grow the team. So Jackie on our team is really good about having these home parties where he brings a lot of friends together. And the way to leverage this to make more connections is when we have people together that may not know each other, you have a way to introduce yourself. And when we go around as the host, we have more control over how we can direct the conversation. So it's everyone's in a relaxed environment, and we can have people introduce each other. And as the host, we get to say what we're doing, and then plant that seed of oh, this is what I'm doing now. This is how I can help people. If it's you or if it's someone else who needs any support in that arena, I could be a person to do that. And this is not to overwhelm the conversation, but a way to position ourselves, especially with people who are, when we are coming from different careers, this is a great way for us to introduce and position ourselves to the friends and community. And we can encourage friends to bring another friend or two, so we have a larger gathering. So another way to leverage your own space to market your business. And another a way to build broader connections is to look at school alumni networks. So this is from our teammates from Tsinghua University. He went on a hike with some of his fellow alums and got a lot of connections there, because everyone, and even though you're a stranger, you're connected by this prior experience that you've had, and school and college is a fond and a memorable time for a lot of people. So going to these events, you're already there for another purpose. So this was a hike, and so you can hang out with different groups of people, get a chance to make connections, get phone numbers, introduce yourself, and in general, broaden your network that way. So finally, the overall purpose of the seasonal events, the home gatherings, what are we doing these for? It's to build relationships, for us to be authentic, but go broader. We want to reach more of the community. There's so much important work that we are doing, so we want to build more relationships. We want to get to know people and their families. We all know that when we're talking to a client, we want to know the client and the spouse, because it's a family unit. So when we get in these type of settings, we can get to know more than just that person. We can see where they come from, who their families are, and build those connections. All of these help build the pipeline. There may be folks who are here who have exhausted their warm market and are looking to build broader connections. So these are ways in which we can build that pipeline. We can plant seeds. So every person that attended the event, even the Diwali event or any other event, even if they didn't directly become a recruit or a client, we have planted a seed in them, and they know that this is what we do. These are the kind of people we are, and that anytime they have a need for the services we offer, we will come to mind. So this is a great way to plant that seed. So we want to be very intentional in our interactions, in crafting these events, what we say to people, how we interact with people, how our team interacts with each other, because you know that we're always being observed. So being natural, authentic, intentional in our interactions is really important. And I wish you all great success in creating your own events. So I'll stop here once more before I bring up Emily. Any further questions? If not, okay, I'm gonna.
I have one question. This is
Sure.
Deepika here.
Mhm.
Thank you so much. It's really, very helpful. So how do you decide on the content of what to present based on the audiences? So is there any material that is available? I mean, I am technically new to the business, so I just want to know, do you as a team come up with what needs to be presented, or there is some kind of information where we could capture and make use of that?
Yeah, great question. Thanks, Deepika. For our purposes, we have a financial 101, which I'm sure you have access to in your team as well. Since we thought for this community, it would be very useful, and they would find a lot of value in things like the X curve. And I don't know if you've seen our regular, if you've been through the financial 101 yet, but concepts like the different buckets, like taxable, tax deferred, and tax advantage, and concepts like long-term care, things that are really important for people in the community, especially immigrants who don't have several generations above them that they can look at to see what might happen down the road when you're aging, but you're aging in a new country. So we felt like those kind of concepts would be helpful, very useful for this community and resonate. And it was true. It was very helpful for this community. So we leveraged mostly the financial 101 material for our presentation. But this was client focused. So we would look at something like similar to the business 101 or a recruiting sort of presentation if we were doing it, if we were mainly talking to recruits. I hope that helps.
Yeah, thank you. It does.
Yep.
Thank you.
Rekha, could you share a little bit about how you did the opening? Because I really liked the way you brought your own story into it first. You made it very personal before you started the presentation, and I think that did a great job.
Yeah, thanks, Lavanya. Yeah, sure. Yes, storytelling. I heard a statistic about how many stories an average marketer tells in a 1 hour presentation. It was something like 5 or 6 stories, because those are really powerful. So what Lavanya is referring to is when I opened, I talked about how most of what we do is for family. Family is such an important component of what drives all of us to do what we do. And I showed up a picture of me with my parents that I went to, that I had taken last year. I traveled to India for my parents' 50th wedding anniversary, and because it's such a big momentous occasion. So I flashed up a picture of that, and then the segue was family is important, and I'm lucky that I got to that they are able to spend this so many years together, and that I was able to go meet them. But with the tinge of sadness, because over time I see my dad's health is not that great. So I'm grateful that I was able to see them, but we I'm at like a mid stage of life, and my dad's not doing that great. So then we that was a segue into talking about what are the different life stages and what we need at different stages of life, and then the X curve that you may have seen before. Yep. Okay, so I will bring up Emily.
Rekha,
Yes.
before you go, I have one more question, right?
Yeah.
When you guys do social events, what's the, like, let's say you have 1 hour social events or whatsoever. So what's the proportion time you guys spend for social, for seminar, for or other topics? So that's I want to ask. Do you understand my question?
Yeah, I do,
Yeah,
I do,
so
and
the
it's a great,
proportion,
that's,
yeah.
it's a great point. We typically, so I can tell you for the Diwali event, what we did. We had like a first about 10 minutes for people to come and settle down, and we, got to just interact with people. And then my talking portion was under 15 minutes, I think. Like we don't want to give a big, have a long sort of a lecture with people. So the full presentation was under 15 minutes. And then we had this panel discussion, which was maybe another 5 to 7 minutes, and then a closing of 2 to 3 minutes. So after that, it was basically that whole thing maybe took 30, 40 minutes. But the rest of the time we left it for us to mingle and for people to ask questions and any sort of follow-up that they wanted to do, and then just connect with each other and introduce people to other team members, that sort of a thing. So 1 hour for a social gathering, I would think that it's a little small. I would say maybe 1.5 to 2 hours would be better. But initially, we need time to set the environment, maybe have some food or something. Then in the middle, time to present, give the information, and then a block of time to reconnect.
Yeah, thank you so much. We do also host the events. I just wanted to learn from you guys about what's the time frame. Thank you so much.
Okay, of course. All right, so I will bring up our beloved and fearless leader, Emily. She comes from a background in tech, and she first joined WFG in 2010, but then rejoined as a business person in 2015. So she's had a great career trajectory at WFG. She was promoted to SMD in March 2020. She has qualified for the Hawaii contest 4 times. I know she's going this year as well. She has served on the DB Elite Council for 7 terms. Her team has 3 SMDs and 4 MDs, 2 ring earners, and a watch earner. And most of all, I'm just privileged to call her my mentor and my friend. She's taught me everything that I know in this business, and I welcome Emily Lynn.
Thank you, Rekha, and a great job today. And Lavanya too, right? Very, very proud of you both. So everybody, hello, good evening. My name is Emily. Been here for more than 10 years, right? And then today is actually less about us, but more about you. So Rekha, do you want me to share the screen, or you can unshare so I can share my screen now? Okay, great. Okay. So my question to you guys right now we have 50 people on the Zoom, right? You came here for a reason, right? So you spend the time here, you listen to the training, right? What do you plan to do, right? What do you plan to take action on after today's training, right? So maybe you can type into the chat, or if you want, you can unmute, right? Share a few thoughts. What's your takeaway? What do you plan to do?
I can share. This is Ashok.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, when I saw the event thing come out about, today's training, I was like, oh, Rekha, I met Rekha a few times, so I just wanted to see how you guys do the community events. And I know personally I've heard from my other team members saying Emily's team does really well at gatherings and stuff. So I just personally wanted to see how you do it. And this is the great information. I love the flow chart, step by step, the planning part of it, and also the execution part of it. I always have these ideas, but it's hard to put together. Now this gives me a clear picture on how to go about it. And in fact, I'm planning for a grand opening. I got a new office in Pleasanton, so this is going to be a great resource for me to refer so that I can put together a nice opening ceremony. Thank you.
Congratulations, Shasho. That's a big commitment and great job. Thank you for your kind words. Yeah. And I see Catherine says she'll refine her upcoming event. So awesome, right? And yeah, Wilson and Lavanya, yeah, thank you for your very kind word, and Giri, right? We appreciate you. Okay, so does anybody know what is today? Today is a very big day for some of us. Okay? So today is the Lunar New Year, right? Today is literally the first day in the lunar calendar year, right? So for people who are Chinese, right, or people who honor the lunar calendar New Year, this is a very huge day, right? So it'll be very culturally appropriate for all of us to send a quick note, right, for your community who might appreciate this message, right? Hello, so-and-so, happy Lunar New Year. I'd love to take the opportunity to wish you, your family, joy, prosperity, and success, right? Something good, right? In 2025, right? And then let's catch up sometime soon. Right. This is a very good quick note to everybody, right? So if I were you, do it today or tomorrow, right? Well, actually, for the next coming 7 days are all appropriate, right? This is a very big year, big celebration for the next 1 or 2 weeks, actually, right? So it's a very great way to connect. And related to that, right? Today we talk about seasonal event, right? So we're thinking about what's coming up in February. So February actually have, besides the Chinese New Year, right? Besides the Lunar New Year, there's the Valentine's Day coming up, right? So these are the two ideas that our offices are doing. The left-hand side is what Rekha mentioned. Our team planned another more like cultural themed event similar to what you saw, what she discussed in shared in Diwali party. Now this one we do it Chinese, more like lunar calendar thing. It's a culturally thing, but we're open to everybody, right? So not just speaking Chinese, we will do it in English. We will share a little bit about culture, but the core is the same. The core will be the same. Like I think Deepika, right? I think I hope I pronounced your name correctly. She asked about the material. Actually, it's not about the material. The materials are all the same. It's about how we package it, right? The decoration, the invitation, and the material is the same so that we can duplicate faster, right? So everybody master that material, and any one of us can go on to host the next event together. So that's the idea, that we can reuse it. But each time it feels different, but each time we have a targeted theme and something seasonal, so people feel fresh, right? But of course the same. We want to recruit, we want to financial education, right? We want to client opportunity. So that's that. And the right-hand side is targeting the Valentine's Day. So the message is love begins within me, right? This is Penny's office is doing locally, right? So celebrate Valentine's Day 1 week ahead with ourselves first, right? So this is also a social / business more relaxed event where we can easily, for this type of message, probably easily to attract women demographics. The back end, the purpose is to engage, right? Is to get the word out and get people into the office where we can interact and deliver the message in a more relaxed way. Yeah, so I encourage everybody to think what's culturally appropriate, what's coming up in your communities, in respective communities in February, in March, right? Something that can group people together. Right, so we can do it in office, we can do it at home, we can do it, or even we can do it in a picnic, right, in the park. So it's up to us how we can group people together, and the messages and materials are not that important, honestly, right? It's about the vibe and how we can all memorize, right? Like even today, when I think about the Diwali event, like you see me and Lavanya and Rekha, we're all smiling still, right? Because the memories is so pleasant that we love to do it again and again, right? And the next time with more people. Okay. And in terms of within WG, there are events too, right? What are the biggest events coming up, right? For all of us, right? Coming up next right now is the elite, right? So Ashok, Li-Wei, they all mentioned Lavanya, they all mentioned about elite. Myself is a product of elite too. If it was not elite, I wouldn't stay. I wouldn't be able to stay or have the ability to stay, right? It's the elite, the environment, the leadership messages that kept me along. Begin and during tough times and also during good times, right? Everybody going to elite, they get the messages that they need, right? So whether you are relatively new or you are kind of in between or you are going through some up or down times, this is the training program you cannot miss, right? So right now it's registering already, right? And this week we still have bonus points, right? So everybody, we should hop on this as soon as possible and grab your teammates if they are still considering, they are hesitating, like give them a little love, right? Bring them along because they will not regret it. You do have to set up the correct expectation though, right? This is not just another class to attend, right? This is a training, a boot camp. So we do need to put an effort and time and intention into it, right? If they expected to come in just to learn, they will not get the most out of it. But I would still say better than nothing. So I would still try to get them along and let them decide, right? So this is the lead. And what's the biggest of all? What's the biggest event of the whole year? And you will sell out in 2 hours tomorrow, right? That's the WG convention, and literally sold out within less than 2 hours last year. So gear up tomorrow, 9 a.m. Pacific time, noon time, Eastern time. That's, they say they'll open it up and send the link to all registered licensed agents. If your team has non-licensed agents, they will not get a link, but you see the link flying everywhere in all the chats. People will be like, get it now, right? So prepare multiple devices in front of you, right? By 8:30, you should, if you get a link, log in right away, right? And I don't know how they do it. I hope they will not let us hang another hour like last time, but who knows, 40,000 people, what no systems can bear that volume. So expect some waiting time, right? Expect it will be crazy, right? Last year is crazier than Taylor Swift, actually, the way we grab all the tickets, right? So be prepared tomorrow. And this is the event that really cannot miss, right? And for new people who are gonna join, they probably won't have the ticket anymore. So all of us should grab extra if we can, right? To prepare for the new GX people coming in the next coming month, so we can bring them along to attend this, so grow together. Okay, so this is what I wanted to share today. So thank you, Fei and the leadership that give us opportunity to share, contribute to the team. Hopefully today's information help you guys. Okay, so let's elite and let's go to convention. See you guys soon.
Thank you so much, Emily, and also Lavia. I try to make the pronounce it right, and also Rekha. Thank you so much. That's great. Everyone, let's go to the base shop meeting. Like we always say, right? This is a good training, but the base shop is always, we have a strategy. We will talk about what we can do. So let's talk in there. Okay. Thank you all. Have a great evening. Also, today is our Happy Chinese New Year. Today is the Fortune Day, right? We talk about only 120 years have one day like this, double day of the spring, right? Today is a very special day. It's a double energy. Ashok, you're lucky. You know, this is secret. 120 years. Every 120 years, lunar calendar have today. Okay. Thank you all. See you guys in a big shop meeting. Bye.
Thank you.
you.
and
Thank
Happy
you.
Chinese New
Yeah.
Year.
Happy New Year.
Yeah.